Hi Grant, you alright?
Very well, yourself?
Yeah, really good, thank you, good. So let's start with a bit of an injury update. Richard Wood, how's he coming along?
Still a few weeks away. We need to let his calf settle down. He's obviously came back and he's felt it again, so still a bit away. So it's a bit of a frustrating one for Woody because he came back and he was very good in the 2 games he played, but it's just not got to the place where he wants it. So we need to make sure he's right when he comes back the next time.
And Westbrook, what's the situation with him at the moment?
Not good on Zane, unfortunately. We initially thought it was going to be a week, 2 weeks, but he's since gone and seen a specialist. He's actually ripped the 2 muscles off his thigh bone, which is not good. Zane's going to need an operation, possibly going to be out for 8 to 12 weeks. So it's a bit of a disappointing outcome for us, and it's disappointing for Zane because he was in such good form.
And Senior, any progress made with his injury yet?
Yeah, Jack's good. He's fine. He's trained. He's trained the last few days, which is good. Jamie Sterry's coming along really nicely as well. So not all doom and gloom. We're starting to get 1 or 2 back, but as it happens, we've lost a couple. So it's a bit frustrating, but it's football.
Well, as you mentioned, Jamie Sterry not played since the opening day in the league. Obviously played a bit, scored on Tuesday night against Forest under-21s. How is he? Where is he in terms of making a return to the first team squad?
Yeah, he'll be involved for the game tomorrow at Accrington. He's still a little bit away in terms of his fitness, but he needs to build that up. And match time is obviously the next thing for Jamie, and obviously building his tolerance in the training ground. So and his robustness. So he's looking good. He's fine. He's trained again really well the last couple of days. So since the game on Tuesday, where he played 15 minutes or so, he had a tough session after the game on the pitch. And he done some rehab work on the Wednesday, and then he's trained Thursday, Friday. So it's been a good week for Jamie, and he's starting to come along nicely. He's a big player. Jamie's a big player for us in terms of how we want to play and go forward. So it's nice to see him back, and hopefully we can keep him back.
Has anyone strengthened their case to make it into the league side? Kyle Hurst as one example, maybe.
Yeah, I think when you play the game, we played a game on Tuesday night. We give quite a few of the boys a bit of a breather. Lads has played a lot of games. It's what these games. It was important for us to freshen the team up a little bit, just to see how other players are working and developing. And it's difficult for us. I said to the lads after the game, particularly some of the younger players, the likes of Jack Goodman and Tavunga Calais and Jack DeGrucci and boys like that. It's tough when they're not playing games because we haven't got that 21 team, and it's tough also with the amount of injuries we've had and still have, that we can't really get them out on loan. So we're asking them to perform when they come in. Tyler Roberts is another example, really, where he's not played a lot of football, but we're asking him to go. So it's tough. I understand it. So we've got good options. If we feel now, obviously we've lost a couple, but we've gained a couple, and we feel like we're strong in terms of what we want to do.
Well, as we're talking about the FL Trophy, even though you obviously you must have seen it on Tuesday night, you're through to the next round. What do you make of the performance?
Apologies, sorry, someone's just waiting to come in there.
It's all right.
Yeah, I thought it was a good performance. Probably after the initial 30-35 minutes of the game, we knew it was going to be tough. Forest are going well, and obviously in their league campaign, and I've got some really exciting youngsters, and obviously we've made up quite a few changes to the team. Lads are probably short a little bit in game time, but the whole remit of the game was to get into the next round, to get minutes into some of our players. We've managed to do that, which has been a pleasing evening for us.
Is there anyone that you'd fancy? Because I know the draw's tonight. Is there anyone you'd particularly fancy in the next round?
Not really. I mean, look, we'll just see what the draw brings us. But ideally another home game would be nice. But we'll see. We'll see what the draw brings us, and we go from there.
Obviously, it's been a good competition of yesteryear for Donny Rovers. Obviously, winning the trophy back in the noughties. How good would it be to come back to Rovers and win a trophy in your first season back?
Yeah, it'd be lovely. It'd be lovely to get to the final of it. I think when you start edging a little bit closer, we know we're 3 games away from appearing at Wembley. So we'll see what the draw throws at us. It's I can't really say too much more than that. It's obviously difficult to win any competition, particularly this one with the League One and League Two teams in it. So we'll see.
Did you get an apology from the FA? Because obviously after the Peterborough game in the second round of the FA Cup, and that offside goal, the goal that maybe should have stood, did you get any apology from the FA after it?
Yeah, I spoke to Mike Jones, the head of the referees, on the Monday morning about it, and he told me he had already seen it, and he was with the agreement of me that it was a mistake by the linesman. Look, I'm always offside initially from the cross in, but the rules of the game is when you get back onside the second phase, which he'd done and scored. So it's an error. It's an error from the linesman. They're all human. We understand that people make mistakes. It's what we like at this level of football. It's human error really. But at that moment in time, it would have given us a real opportunity and a bit longer to get back into the game, and I felt we came strong towards the end.
Well, let's touch on tomorrow then. Obviously, Accrington Stanley, you've played them twice so far this season. What do you recall of them? Because those were 2 tough games, certainly in the first round of the FA Cup. Anything you took away from those 2 games? Yeah,
loads, yeah. We know they're a good team. John's a good manager. They're strong, but it's like I said, we've played each other twice. One of the games has gone into extra time. So we know. I'm sure we know. Well, we know them, and they know us, and we know it's all leading towards an entertaining game, I would say. We will look to go there. We'll look to try and continue what we're doing. I feel as if we're in good form in terms of how we're playing. Results are coming. We want to try and be a bit more consistent by putting 2, 3, 4 performances and results together. I feel that's all what's missing really with us at the minute. The tight games, we're just not getting over the line with them. I think back to Crewe, Peterborough in the FA Cup. So our aim and our motto now is to try and get over the line in those games. There's games we've been really good and we've won. The ones where we haven't won, we've actually played well as well. Maybe apart from AFC Wimbledon, where we deserve nothing. So we know we're on the right trajectory in terms of how we want to perform. Now it's about consistent wins.
And John Coleman, obviously your opposite number in the dugout tomorrow. Accrington have been brilliantly managed and underfunded. What do you make of the job that Coleman's done at Aki?
He's done a good job, a very good job in terms of he's been there a long time. So I think everybody, in terms of how they've moved through from the National League to League One, and obviously look, they find themselves in League Two again, and they would fancy themselves to be in and around the shake-up come the end of the season, I'm sure. So yeah, John's a good guy, good coaching staff and around him there. So I'm sure they'll do well.
Now, your form's not been particularly brilliant when it comes to on the road this season. Been trying to get a couple of wins under the board, but they've not come, shall we say. What do you think that you need to really address in terms of the away form? Because the home form of late has been brilliant, but you need to try and move that into the away form. So what really do you think needs to be done or needs to be addressed, really?
It's a difficult one. We don't play any different away from home, and we won't change. We want to be on the front foot. We want to be aggressive and get after people and try and create opportunities and chances. And I think the last 2 away games, the 2 that stick in my head, Crewe and Peterborough, we've pushed them right to the wire. So I think a little bit of lady luck coming down and shining on us, and us being a bit more diligent in terms of how we work when we go 1-0 up, or for example, can we go 2-0 up? So these are the things we keep thinking and saying to the players all the time. It's not about going safe or negative. It's about actually being a bit more aggressive on how we work and how we play. So our form has actually been very good in terms of what we've done over the last lot of games, including cup games over the last 15, 16 games. And rightly so, people will point to our away form, but we know that inside, we know that we're performing well, and we know that we're not far away from putting a real good, consistent run of results together.
And do you think it'll have any influence on the fact that you want the combination of Ironside and Fall to maintain their form, especially when it comes to goal scoring?
Yeah, we believe so. I mean, look, it's just not them two. We want other people to score as well. Tuesday night we've seen Kyle Hurst and Luke Molyneux score. So we want goals coming from all over the pitch. We've started to look strong again. We've addressed the set play situation. We've started to look strong again from set plays. We scored a good goal at Peterborough, which we didn't get. We scored a good goal on Tuesday night from Ben Close corner. So we're starting to look better again, and that's something we've been really, really strong at home and away probably this season, where we've looked strong at set plays. So we'll continue to hopefully get better at that.
And just finally from me, the club appointed a new head of medical yesterday, David Rennie. How pleased are you to get him into the club, and what have you made of him so far?
Well, firstly, we'd like to thank Carl Blanken for the work that he's put in since I've been here. Carl's a great guy, good physio. Obviously, his field of work is more rugby, and we wish him well, when he goes to his new job. But for us, we wanted to appoint the best person to reshape and to revamp our medical department. I think over the past maybe 3 years at this football club, it's seen a hell of a lot of injuries, trauma injuries, things that people can't control really. I guess the reason behind the interviewing was to try and get the best person that could lead that department forward, the experience, the knowledge, the know-how, and Dave ticked all the boxes. He's one of the best in the business. We had to push to get him in, and I'm really thankful and pleased that Gavin and the board have backed us on this. So he'll have the full remit to go in there and shape it and rip it up if he wants and start again and things like that, just to make it the best possible version of Doncaster Rovers. And I think we'll see the fruits of this maybe in a year's time, where injury lists will start decreasing, player availability will start going higher, and more robustness about the group and fitness about the group as well, obviously working closely with the sports science team.